Hello my lovelies, Susie here from Susie Mac Creations. Welcome to my channel. I'm here today to continue on with the creation of my next journal, folio, album, whatever. I have decided that I'm going to do a hybrid folio that will hold some photographs and a signature, and some flip outs and flips and bits and bobs. I'm going to put my sleeves up because it's getting a bit warm in here today. On my previous video I showed you the papers I'll be using, which are the lovely Lavender Dreams from Create with Scrimping Mummy, and I'm honoured to be a part of her design team. So this will be a design team project, an ongoing one that I'll be following through every maybe other day or every third day, depending on my schedule. If you want to make this along with me, you can do. I'm going to give you all the measurements for the folio. And if you want to use the same papers or similar papers, digital or scrapbooking papers, you can do. But if you're using digitals, I printed out the A4 JPEG at 85%, so that it gave me a 7x5 signature, which I'll be adding into other bits and bobs. That's 85% printout. So I'll put that to the side, and I'm going to make a hybrid folio, and I have already labelled up all the pieces that I'll need for the basic construction, and they go like this. Now let me find page 1. Okay, page 1, here we are. I hope I'm in shot. I put the measurements down on the pages so that you can pause the video and take a note of them if you so wish. Page 1 is 7.5 by 6 3/4. Depending on the size of your pages, you always go a ½ inch above. So my pages are 7, and I want 1/4 inch and 1/4 inch top and bottom. So I'm adding on a ½ inch. My pages are 5. But this is 6 3/4 because I'm scoring an inch. So it's 5 3/4. But I want to be able to add tabs and bits and bobs into the edge of the paper. I hope I'm making sense. Anyway, that's page 1, and we're going to score it at 1 inch. Now I've already scored mine, and I've added my tape. And it's the best tape that you can buy. It's Sukwang or Scorpal. Whichever you can find in your region. I'll pop that to the side. So page 1, and then we have page 2. Now this is exactly the same as page 1. It's 7.5, 6 3/4, and scoring at 1 inch. Let's put these aside, and we'll add this on. Just now I've got my little pokey tool. I'll take off the tape. Now I'm going to be adding, because I want this to last quite a while, so and no tape is permanent. It will eventually lose its stickiness, so I'm adding on some extra wet glue just to ensure that it stays totally intact, but also this gives me the wiggle room that I need, that you don't get with sticky tape. I'll pop that down there, and I'm going to add on my page. I'm going to start from the bottom, line it up, and just gently let it fall down. And there we have giving it a burnish. I'm burnishing it to within 1 inch of its life to make sure that wet glue, we get rid of all the excess out of the corners. And that gives you your first part, which is like a little book or booklet. So we open this up, we come to our next page, which is page 3. Now it's the same height as your first and second pages, and I'm using 300 GSM, which is quite a sturdy cardstock, but I'm also going to obviously decorate it with I always print my basic front covers, back covers on 200 GSM, so this is going to be a 500 eventually. So let's go back to this page 3. It's the same height and it's the same width, 6 3/4 by 7 1/2, and I've scored it at 1/2 inch and then 1 1/4 inches, and there's your measurements there. And what we do is we are going to add this on to page 2 there. So we'll take I haven't put the score tape on, oh dear. Here we go. As I said, I'm using my Soot Rang, and I've got I think this is 7/8 of an inch tape, which fits beautifully just into the 1/2 inch score line. Get my scissors, just snip off. Pop that back, pop them back, burnish my tape, remove it, and add on that glue. So how are we all doing today? It's warm in my craft room, but it's raining outside. It's not as warm as it was previous days. It's around about 17 degrees, which is still nice. It's very pleasant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn this around, and I know it looks like it's upside down. No, I'm going to turn that around and turn this around. It looks like it's upside down, but it's not. And I'm going to add this with as much care as I possibly can, making sure the bottom is lined up, the top is lined up, and I'm not going into that score line, she says. Excuse my clumsiness. I still want that to fold nicely, so there we go. Just burnish this down, turn it over and burnish again. So there we have our, oops, burnish that as well. The basis of our trifold booklet. And if we take this up like so, stand it up, you will see that that just gives you a tiny little space, so that it's not butting up against that 1 inch spine, which you don't want because it would make it really awkward. So that's the basics. Now we're going to add on the flip out, and the flip out measures 8 inches by 7 inches. Am I doing this right? Yes, I am. Yes, it's 7 inches tall. Or is that that's 7 1/2? It can't be 7. If it was 7, it would be smaller. It's 7 1/2. Oh dear, dear, dear. Right, let me just adjust that. It's 8 inches wide by 7.5 inches tall. I hadn't marked it down, that's why. So it's 7.5 inches by 8 inches, and we're scoring it at 1/2 inch and putting our tape on and also mitering it, and we're scoring at 5.5 inches. So it's on the 8-inch side into your scoreboard, 1/2 inch, 5.5 inches. Yes, and we fold this one over and burnish it, because you'll see in a moment this is going to be the lid to our pocket. So what we're going to do is take off the tape, apply our glue, and we're going to add this on. If I turn this round, we're adding it on to the edge making sure we've got it lined up. We don't want it coming over or under. Oops, just a little push over here. I'm hoping I'm still in shot, ladies, but that's going to be our fold out. So we have fold out, page 1, page 2, page 3, and it will fold like so. Now what we're going to do is make our pocket. Possibly the pocket is, let me see, tall. It's 8.5 inches tall by 4.5 inches wide, because we are going to score 1/2 inch on all 3 sides. Yes, so 8 inches by 4.5 and scoring at 1/2 inch all the way around. And we're going to cut the corners, we're going to miter the corners so as that we don't have any overlap. Okay, and that is going to go on I put this on wrong, girls. Ah! How can I? That should have been under, not on top. Ah. Let me see if I can get it off. We all make mistakes. Oh. Now I'm going to try and get this off. If not, I'll have to cut another piece. So I'm using my Cricut tool, which I think, quite honestly, if it doesn't work, I don't think it's going to work, is it? Come on, Susie. Well, I suppose making the mistake. I know it's only paper, but I'll try and salvage it. Otherwise, I'm going to have to cut another piece. Well, it just shows you that Score Pal, boy, is it tough. And is the glue working? Yes, it is. Oh, I'm not too worried about these little rough bits here because it's going to be decorated. Let me see if we can get that off. That should have gone on that way, so that it pops out like so. Right, let's put another piece of tape on. It should be fine. We'll soon find out. Another piece of tape. away. I'm going to burnish again. This is why I don't do tutorials. I get flustered because I'm trying to be too quick. That should have gone on there. So let's take the tape off again. Put it this way, if it doesn't look good, it'll get done again. Put our glue back on. And I'm going to take it from, hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. Take it from the bottom this time. There's a wee bit of a flaw there, but we're going to put paper right from the corner to the corner, so that will be covered. And now we're going to, this will be a flip out. That's better. That'll come in there and that will go there. Yep, that's better. Now we can put our pocket on. As I said, the pocket, I've given you the sizes, so let's just get this down here. But before we do that, I want to make a wee kind of fancy bit here, so that it's more adjustable. So I'm going to bring in my envelope punch board, and you don't have to do this, it's just my preference. I'm going to take this to about 1 3/4 inches and punch, and turn it round 1 3/4 inches and punch. That gives us a nice little bit there. And I bring in my trimmer. I'm going to open these out and I'm going to line up both edges. I don't want to overdo it. Take that edge off. Oops. There we go. And there we have that there. Here we have our fancy edge. So that when this goes on here, we have a nice pocket there. And I'm going to do I will either do magnets, but we'll do that in another video when we come to decorate it and add all our pockets and our bits and bobs. I might even do a waterfall. In fact, I probably will do a waterfall. And I'm not going to miter the edges because it's going to be there's going to be paper in to decorate it. But I'm putting it all on just now. Oops. Just again, make sure that this is lined up, top and bottom, and we shall varnish it. There's our pocket, there's our flap, that will open out. The signature will go here. We'll have pockets or something here. We may have a waterfall element here. No, we won't, because the signature's, hang on, the signature's going in there, so we have to give it room to grow. Yep. We may have our waterfall here. We'll have maybe a centre pocket with a flap or a tuck up or something. And we'll have something here as well. But there's our basic folio done. So I thank you very much for bearing with me. I'm not going to edit it. I'm not taking out the mistake that I made. Because we all learn from them, don't we? So, thank you very much indeed for coming to sit with me for a wee while. And I'll say bye-bye for now, and I'll see you again very, very soon.